It was February the 22nd that, as part of psychological warfare being used by Hamas, his brother, Evyatar David, who is being held amongst the captives there, he was filmed as part of a propaganda video as others were released in a car with a friend of his, Guy Dalal, and they released this, and Israel said this was cruel propaganda footage. We haven't shown it, given clearly the duress that the men are under. Ilay's with me, as you can see. Great to have you on the programme tonight. Just first of all, tell me, was that the first, had you heard anything about the condition, whether your brother was alive before that?
No, actually, it's the first sign of life we've had. I mean, after more than 500 days, Hamas gave us the first sign of life. They didn't volunteer to do so. They never volunteered to give us any sign of life or any evidence of the conditions down there. But it did give us. We saw Evyatar and Guy together. We saw that they are alive. And that's what matters. We are fighting for the living. We are fighting for 59 hostages, which are not included in any agreement or phase or no humanitarian list. They were supposed to be at the second phase of the deal. There is no such thing right now. And we are talking about 24 young men. Some of them are fathers. All of them are sons of somebody, brothers of someone. And we are fighting for their lives right now.
I've heard you before, Ilay, just in the struggle just to be heard and try to bring about the release of your brother and other hostages, you know, in some sense, forcing yourself to speak to the media, as uncomfortable as it clearly will be for you as well. And you've talked about your brother. He's like a rock. He's strong. He's got deep resolve. What did it, given the propaganda of that, I guess you still and the family were still looked at that and got any sign you could from his condition and how you think he is?
It's not the same. We saw him broken. I looked in his eyes. I saw that he wants to cry, but he holds himself very, very strong, because if he cry, he breaks. So you could see in that video how they are treating our hostages. You could see clearly that they took citizens. My brother is a 24 young man, a citizen, who were taken from a music festival, he and his friend Guy Dalal. And they were put in a van. They were forced to watch their friends being released in the releasing parade that Hamas organizes every time they release hostages. And then the terrorists shut the door, slammed the door in their faces. So first of all, it was, and then, by the way, they throw them back into the tunnel, into the dungeons underground. So first of all, it was the first time they saw sunlight and felt fresh air on their faces since June. On June, they were taken down into the tunnels. And also you could see the cruelty, how Hamas terrorists are treating them. They are using them as pawns in a game, a twisted mind game, and it's a mental abuse, not only for us, the families, it's a mental abuse for them. Every second, those people are down there, they are being abused, and it's like eternity for them. They are suffering, they are starving, they can die at any moment. And the atrocities that Hamas made on October 7th, still happening right now for 59 hostages.
I know one thing that you've said previously, and I noted in you that you're very, very closely connected to him, that you've had hope throughout that he would be alive. You said, actually, I think you said you'd feel it otherwise if he wasn't, and you talked about how you'd looked into his eyes and you felt he was struggling. Also tell us about him, because he's a big musician, plays the guitar, and I think one thing that you still hold out massive hope for is you can go back to playing together, you know, musically, when he comes out.
Maybe the only good thing that we've heard about Evyatar in captivity, the hostages that came back told us that while being underground, they try to hold to whatever they can to stay sane. And the strongest thing they're trying to do is playing music and they don't have any instruments. They just have the floor or a mattress or their bodies. And he and Guy, again, they are childhood friends and they grew up on the same songs. They are drumming and singing the songs they grew up on. And also, Evyatar, my brother, sent messages to us through the hostages that were released. And the message he sent me that he misses play music with me. He misses sing with me. We had a tradition to play music and sing every week at my parents, me, my brother, and my younger sister. And it's our bond, it's our connection, it's our way of bringing joy to our connection. And right now we have no music at home, and we miss his hug and his smile and his look in his eyes, and knowing that he is holding to the same hope that I hold to, playing music again, singing again. That's something that gave me a lot of strength to never give up and bring Evyatar back and bring him his guitar the second he arrives at the hospital. And hopefully it will be soon, very, very, very soon.
When you hear that the US are holding unprecedented talks with Hamas, they've got a hostage envoy involved as well, how do you feel about that dynamic? Does it give you any more hope than what we were previously seeing with government negotiators from the Israeli side?
First of all, as I understand, the American government is super committed to bring back all the hostages, dead and alive. And that's amazing. And we are so grateful that Donald Trump used his determination and leadership in order to make the first phase of the deal happen. I mean, I think because of him, more than 30 hostages came back to their families, reunited with their communities. It's amazing. And it wouldn't happen without Donald Trump and his team. I feel and think Donald Trump, President Trump and his team are still committed and trying to have direct negotiations with Hamas is one of their ways. They are thinking about the goal. And the goal is to retrieve all the hostages, to save all the hostages. They understand we are talking about human lives. So they're trying to do whatever they can. I think it's one of the ways. But I'll say, in the end, it's the responsibility of the Israeli government and solidarity and leave no man behind. It's a core value in the Israeli society, the Israeli state. And I know that the Israeli government will do anything to bring back the hostages. But again, it's responsibility, and I hope that President Trump supports that.
You're a great guy, Ilay. I can tell just from speaking to you, and I really hope that soon you'll be back to play music with your brother, Evyatar. Thank you for talking to us, and thank you for talking to France 24 this evening.